Next, we are so happy to announce that we're going to have some members of CXLII live on the paper. So if we could just have you guys come in. Gang's back together.
We're back.
Awesome. So, how you guys doing?
Great, how are you?
We're chilling. This is a calm interview. This isn't some big paper thingy. Anyways, so for our viewers who probably don't know who you guys are, just like go down the line, say what you did in the paper when you were working with us, and who you are, I guess. So.
Hi, I'm Gigi. I am a former sports editor and big fan of Live. A+ fan.
My name is Tessa. I was president of the Phillipian Volume CXL.
Hey, Tessa.
All of the eyes.
My name is Kelly. I'm a former layout and illustration editor.
And I'm Samson. I was a video associate and executive digital editor of CXLII.
Awesome. And just so you know, Samson made Live. So, I know we're not exactly in the newsroom. We're in the side room called Student Publications. But how does it feel to be back? Kinda weird.
It feels like we're just leaving. Our blue card access just got shut off this
Oh,
week.
really?
Oh,
Yeah, our blue cards don't work anymore.
Oh!
Yeah.
So tough. Damn. I'm guessing since this has technically been joint week, you guys have been in and out of the newsroom a lot. She shook her head.
Well, not me, because it's only you gets to be around for joint week.
That's not true. Okay, joint week last year was just trial by fire. They were just we had like a 30-minute meeting. They were just like, okay, do your thing. And I mean, there's some merit to
Am
that.
I supposed to be around?
There's not really any protocol for it. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
You're not the only one asking. I wasn't
It's fine. Yeah, I know. I was making an effort to check in. I feel like all the new editors know what
It's like
they're
they
doing.
kinda know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Okay, well, I guess aside from upper management, for people who haven't been around, how does it feel like to have so much free time now?
I really don't know what to do with it. I have been talking a lot with Alexandra, who's the former executive editor, and she's like, I have every hour of the day planned out of things that I couldn't do while I had Phillipian, and so she's been keeping herself rather busy, but I've been sitting in my room a lot. But hanging out with friends in my room.
It's nice to have free time.
It's weird to be able to sleep for more than 5 hours.
Oh?
My body's like, that
should not be happening.
I feel like this is an expose.
It was also my own fault.
That's just not.
It was also my own fault that I wasn't sleeping then.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay, needless to say, the experience of Phillipian is different for everyone. So
I was talking to Tessa this afternoon, and she said she was just going through an identity crisis.
Way to expose me.
You did wear your
It's
shirt
weird.
yesterday.
That's true. I don't know. I guess it's weird for me because I've been on the board since my lower year. So it's been 3 years since I've not had the newsroom.
were you an editor your lower year?
I was.
Wow. What was it for?
Illustration and layout.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like since I have personally been around for so long, I feel like I know so little about you guys. So it's kind of weird to be interviewing you guys just because, like, I see you in the newsroom, but I don't know much about your experience here. Moving on. What are you guys going to do with the free time?
Right now I'm trying to catch up on work because I was in the psychs for a week with pneumonia, bronchitis, and the flu. So
This is what the Phillipian does to you.
Don't say that! False advertising.
I'm kidding. I want all of you to
This is
quit
like a
so I can come
clickbait
back and
interview.
take over.
I don't know.
I can literally already see the headline for clickbait, like Phillipian killed
Phillipian gave me bronchitis.
No, like the Phillipian is legitimately the only thing that has kept me going through like so much. It's
so wholesome.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Well,
I have no vocation anymore. I was
I
just
know.
a sports editor, so I can't imagine what you guys are feeling.
I don't know. I'm excited to paint. I don't know.
Oh,
We'll see.
well, speaking
Oh,
of
yeah.
wholesome
Yeah.
questions,
Nice transition.
we're gonna ask you a question about that anyways. Let's just jump right into it. Can somebody here like explain what painting the tiles is? I know it's a little tradition. Tessa.
I'm the only one who's
So
painted
you've done it?
before.
Yeah.
No, I have done it. I did it last year. I was an editor.
Did you put your name down? Isn't that bad luck?
Well, I guess it was bad luck because I mean,
Bronchitis.
Yeah.
Pneumonia.
flu. But basically, at the end of board's tenure, all of the editors and UM members paint their names and messages on the walls. They used to kind of try and hold it back a little bit, like, oh, just put it places where we can paint over if we ever move the new. That has been completely disregarded. It's everywhere. It's on the tables, it's on the walls, it's on the ceiling tiles. It's great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess speaking of the newsroom, what's your favorite memory? I told you it was gonna get cheesy, so just roll with it.
I fell asleep on the couch once.
Only once?
That was
doing the exposing.
Oh.
I don't know. I feel like anyone on UM like can't criticize others for falling asleep in the newsroom because I know like at least Juna and I definitely took naps. There was like
we all
times when
slept
like
in the newsroom.
I feel like
No,
Andrew maybe
that's not
did
what
the
I meant. I
lead.
didn't mean like, wow, geez, you sleep on the couch so often. I meant we all sleep on the couch.
No, it's like there are so many times like I would just like I feel like Andrew probably doesn't or Ali.
I feel like
I
Andrew
can't
would
see
sleep
them.
in a chair. His chair.
Andrew's
his chair.
grown. Andrew, yeah, that's.
Don't I share Bianca?
It's always gonna be.
I tried to sit in that chair once, and it just rejected me. It really is like true like King Arthur shit. Like if you are chosen for the chair, it'll accept you.
It accepts me. Does that mean that I'm right for the job? Can I be
How
rehired?
are you?
Yeah, I sat there for like 2 hours when you guys were doing your UM deliberations, and Andrew comes in, and I swear he had a heart attack when he saw me sitting in his chair. Like his face turned red. He was like, "What do I do now?"
Where do I go?
But yeah.
Oh, damn. Well, speaking of the newsroom again, and speaking of your role on UM and being editors, I guess what's your most proud accomplishment?
Bathtub brick.
Oh
What?
God. Do you want to explain that for people who don't know what that is? I.e. anyone. and everyone.
So cutouts were a historical thing in sports, but they had been sort of disbanded because of the time and effort it takes to like trace around every single person and get like the ball and make it an action shot. But I am highly, highly passionate about cutouts.
Yeah.
And so for the commencement issue, as I was doing the layout, I managed to convince Tessa that it would be a really, really great idea to do cutouts of all of the people who wrote their athlete reflections. And for the most part, it was fine. They were like runners and like soccer players, so it's fine. But then Rick Ono, who is a lovely former CXL sports editor, wrote a really sweet athlete reflection. What?
Continue. CXLI, was he your editor or was he the?
Oh, sorry, CXLI. Sorry. David was going like this, and I was like, do you want me to like bounce or something?
Okay, this is what happens behind cameras, folks.
And he played water polo, and so doing the cutout for that was a little bit more challenging because at first I just took his like torso and like left everything under the water, and the test was like, that looks so weird. So we gave him like a little splash. And we cut out all the little like water droplets, so it looks. But the way we ended up cutting it out, it looks like it's in a bathtub, and you're just seeing the top part. But then Alexandra threw a fit because she doesn't like fun things, and she. Alu, I love you. This isn't about you. It's about the fact that you hate cutouts. Sorry. And she wanted to cut out all the fun, splishy aspects of bathtub brick, which started a protest and a Slack campaign.
We have a Slack emoji of bathtub brick now.
Yes. He's an important part of the newsroom. I think there are 17 different bathtub bricks posted around the newsroom, tacked or taped. He's really become a fixture, and so we're planning on repainting the sports wall that says "It Nave Redrum." I don't know what the other thing is, but I'm thinking a full-size bathtub brick, but just painted. But I can't paint, so.
This is the illustration editor.
You were my illustration editor.
But yes. Oh, and then we were inspired by bathtub brick for the water polo senior spread this year to make bathtub spread, which was the highlight of my career, and I'm just very proud of it. And I can't believe I didn't win a Scholastic Award for it. But check it out. It's October. Subtle plug.
Alright. Anyone else want to talk about proudest achievements? All on you, Tessa.
Oh, I was pointing at Kelly.
I think one night on Wednesday night when everyone was writing an editorial about our friends who had left Andover, I managed to stay there and talk to them, and I convinced Juna to let me do an illustration for the whole board editorial. I don't know, that made me really happy that I was able to do that for everyone.
Awesome. That's so sentimental. Oh.
So, is there one thing that you guys wish you could do or would have followed up on?
Plenty of things.
I think in general, I just would have asked anyone and everyone more questions about everything, because everyone is just so dedicated and really knows their craft like really, really well. Like Gigi and her cutouts, and Neil, who is very passionate and supportive of just everything.
Yeah, I think some of the coolest like future-looking things I think have come from this next board that's taken over now. So like Digital Week, honestly, like the coolest part of that. So Digital Week was a week where we published half of our articles, digital exclusive, and before that we had I had gone around to all their sections and asked for their ideas. And I think what was most exciting about that was not that like we had planned it, but like all the new ideas that the editors had, or the associates then had, and they're now editors, and it's now it's their paper, right? And now these are the ideas that they're taking on. And then things like digital things as well, right? Like, I mean, that was a digital thing also, but things like the visual boot camp that's being planned now, right? Like, that's not something that I never really had the time or like the outreach. Like, I wasn't really in a position to do that, but that's something that is like hugely exciting, right? It's a lot of things that like I wanted to work towards. So yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. I think is just this new board and all the exciting things that they'll do.
I guess the biggest regret that I have is that I didn't spend more time with all the other sections. My goal before the turnover was to hit every section and make an appearance, and unfortunately they did not accept Latin translations for multilingual, so I was out of luck there. And digital wouldn't let me press the upload button, so I have to figure out something else to do before the end of the year. But I think that the best thing is like getting to learn from other people, and late nights in the newsroom. We've had a lot of really fun discussions just sitting around that big table, and I think that when everyone's a little bit sleepy and a little bit tired, like the fun stuff comes out. And so, not like in a bad way, like, but people are a little bit more free with like their opinions and talking, and I feel like we've had a lot of really good political, social, and philosophical discussions that I don't think you can get anywhere else.
Awesome. So, a bit of a fun question here. So, what is the quirkiest question you've been asked on an interview or an application, if you guys remember?
That we've been asked?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys all became editors last year at some point.
Oh
so you
yeah,
had to
like
fill
through
out
all the
stuff.
layers. This is true. I can do one that is still a thing for the digital applications. This is a very technical one, but like, is HTML a programming language? And this is something that like, all right, it's very specific. Right? HTML is like, okay.
How
Wait, okay. So HTML is like, it's the code for a website, right? So it's straight up just like image and then paragraph and div, right? So it's like very clearly not a programming language. But everyone in the digital section swears that it is a programming language. I like out of spite at this point, and they keep it on their application, so that's mine.
We had to take pictures and make memes of my editors when I was an associate.
Love this.
And I think probably the greatest thing was when I was a writer and then a staff writer applying for positions. It was just like take a picture of the person without them knowing. But we went up our editors last year and we said you have to take a picture of Andrew Cohen without him noticing and then make a meme out of him. And I think Andrew's Timothy is one of the most meme-worthy people in the newsroom just because he's such an icon. And so it was such a pleasure for me to get to read those memes, and that's ultimately how we made our decision.
Wait, very serious.
That was sarcasm. I'm sorry, most people can't tell it apart from my I feel like I just have to have like a card I hold up. Yes, that was sarcasm.
I feel like a lot of sections do stuff like that. I know when I first applied to illustration, I think the last question is that you had to draw your associates. So you had to draw caricatures of your associates. And I actually hadn't been illustrating that long, so I didn't know either of them particularly well. So I was going off of their directory photos, which was awful because I didn't have a better frame of reference. Which is awful because everyone has terrible directory photos.
And I drew Amy off of her like blurry Instagram profile picture.
Ah.
She's a
didn't
private
follow
account
her?
and I didn't follow her. And I also drew the wrong Zora for my application. I don't know. I wasn't an associate for a very long time.
Yes, this is why you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shade.
It
Okay.
comes out.
Well, since this is actually one of the questions that are on an application, I'm gonna ask you it right now. So just brace yourselves for a quirky question. If you could be a vegetable, what vegetable would you be?
What application is this on?
This is
Associate.
Yeah.
I had time to do that one. I don't remember what I said.
This is
though.
no. I've never answered that question. I feel like I would have
What
remembered.
vegetable
have.
would
What
would we be?
vegetable?
I think I said I was cauliflower because it's very uptight and sometimes can be a little bit prissy, but then as soon as like you get it to warm up, it gets really soft and emotional. And I like
Why is that so deep?
And it's also kind of like it can be fine on its own, but it's always like 10 times better when you put it with other sauces and like things because everything's better with company.
That's
So
so cool.
that's why I'm cauliflower.
High bar. What are we gonna say now?
I don't want to follow that.
Pass.
I don't know.
David says speed it up, so.
I don't have it. I'm passing this to Samson. I don't know.
Yeah,
the answer.
tomato for tomato.
Just cause.
Let's go with Chinese broccoli. I saw that on like a Chinese restaurant's menu once, and I still don't know what it is.
Chinese broccoli.
I'm just gonna go, yeah.
Always looking to discover yourself. I
Yeah.
love it.
I say lemon. I know it's not a vegetable, but I identify with lemons. I don't know.
Why?
Is this, yeah, what are your lemon selfies?
No,
what is this story?
That's it. I don't know.
Alright, we've been
She's
censored.
zesty and full of life. And
Why do
sometimes
you have to attribute meaning to?
This is
How are you so
supposed to-
good at this?
This is a personal question. You're supposed to reflect your character through a vegetable.
I don't know. I was just
Oh my
very
Lord.
big on lemonade as a kid.
All right,
Well,
stop
also-
roasting. Stop roasting.
No, this is positive. The skin can protect it, but once you get to know it, you realize it's so flavorful and full of life and really inspires and colors the rest of your
I've determined that everything you say has to be a metaphor of something.
It is.
Life is a metaphor.
It is. Or it's a simulation, but don't get me into that.
Alright. So I know we told you guys we were gonna play a game on the show.
You did not
So-
tell us this.
Yes.
Bianca told me.
I was okay.
Okay. So
I guess that's his favorite.
we brought whiteboards, and if you could take one and pass it down, that'd be great. And we have markers. Okay. Anybody want a specific color? Blue. Blue. Purple. Purple. Green.
It's like
Red.
Ooh, nice catch.
All right. Colt Simpson.
Writing names, use black.
I've seen math on
Don't,
these
you're writing
bullets, that
names, use
makes me
black.
sad.
writing names use black.
All right.
Don't write
Fine.
names in red.
That's how you
Don't
know
write
not
names
your
in
name.
red.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
happening?
So we're gonna do most likely / like who would be most likely to out of all of you.
Ooh.
All of us would
Ooh.
win.
Just
You
out
four,
of,
you
just
four,
out
you
of
four.
us four.
Okay.
Well, because
I'm
nobody
just
who's
putting
watching is gonna know
Samson
anyone
for
else.
everything.
Oh god.
Fair.
Alright.
Most likely to become a tomato.
Okay.
Solid question.
So this is a little pertaining to live, but who would be the best and worst news anchors on the live show? Go. All right. I'm giving you 10 seconds. All right. Ready?
No.
I
No.
All I wrote was best and worst.
Please write slower.
Nope. Okay. I'll erase and rewrite.
Rude.
Okay. Ready?
No.
Sam?
No.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh.
These like.
Oh
Like, by these like
Wait.
Wait,
Why
what
do you
did they
say
say?
worst Gigi? I said best Gigi.
I said
Yeah,
best
no,
Gigi.
Gigi's so quirky.
Overridden.
Gigi, you want to
What?
talk about
No, no,
who
I don't
online
know.
did a
You did
sports
well.
segment for us?
No, wait, explain. Elaborate. Also, this is
Second was
wrong.
the best.
What? You have one on
Okay,
set.
mine is literally
Whoa.
yours flipped.
I said Samson would be the worst, not because he's not a great host, but because he like created this whole thing. So I feel like if he were talking, he'd be like, "You're doing that wrong," and like talk about like try to fix all the technical stuff while he's anchoring.
Oh my
That's
lord.
true. He was a guest and he was back there trying to.
Yeah. Okay, everybody erase their boards. Fast. Okay,
Why did you think Gigi was being?
All right. Next question. Upper management and an editor's assassin. Who would die first?
Wait, hang on. Say that again.
would die
Who would die first?
Who would die
If we're
first?
playing assassin, who would die first?
Playing assassin? What is playing it? Wait.
Oh.
Sam, you know what to write.
Well,
I think Kelly,
y'all
because
been
she's
outed.
just too sweet. No, Kelly just narrates everything in her life with sound effects. She's not stealthy enough for that.
True, I would.
Okay. All right. Who do you think has or is most likely to hide something in the ceiling tiles or anywhere in the newsroom?
Ooh.
Wait. No, this is only.
No, this is only people who are
Right here.
here. So.
They are here.
Margot and Ross. For context, Margot and Ross are editors.
They left hummus up there for months.
Oh, I forgot about that.
They left chocolate hummus in the ceiling for like 6 months.
Elaborate. When was this?
This
From
was-
like April of last year
yeah.
to this October.
This was during commencement season when we were spending hours upon hours in the newsroom and something smelled awful and we found hummus. Chocolate hummus in the ceiling.
Oh wait, that's what that was.
Yeah.
And then it sat out in the newsroom for like a week or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
more.
Worst thing,
Nasty.
the only thing I've ever found that was worse than that is we found a cheese stick once that was so old that it was hard, and we like cracked it on the
snapped in
table.
half.
That
It
is
like no, it didn't
gross.
snap. It shattered. It was
Well,
awful.
aside from perishables and food, has anyone ever left anything in the tile? Like the ceiling tiles besides that?
Oh, the hit list.
The hit
What?
list.
What?
The hit list?
We sound like
Your
such
hits.
a cult.
Expose.
Oh my lord.
When upper management was transitioning over last year, like people will leave Easter eggs in the ceiling, and so that they'll like stick a corner out. So like if you're just happening to look at the ceiling, you'll notice that there's a piece of paper sticking out. And one day I pulled it out and it was like number 1, Gigi. Oh, fun! And there's like number 2, Juliet. Number 3, Olegit. Number 4, like Tessa. Continues on and on. We're like, what is this? Like,
what is
is
this
this some
list?
kind of hit list? It was a list of all the blondes in the newsroom.
And we spent so long trying to be like, what is the like? What's the order? What's the pattern?
And like most of the people who were on the list ended up getting for some reason. Like Margot was on it, even though she's not really a blonde. And I was like, is this like the potential like draft or like whatever? But it just turned out it was the blondes.
Oh damn. And last question. This one's a good one. So get ready. Most likely to come back as a faculty advisor for the Phillipian in 10 years, 10, 15 years.
Whoa, wait. This is like.
This is a thought. This is a thought question.
Yeah.
This is the
That's a
last
hard
one.
one.
I was having fun.
GG. Alright, take your time. I'm gonna count to 3 and then you guys are all gonna turn over your
Take your time and count
This
to
is
3.
tricky though.
Alright, ready?
Oh my
No, I
God.
haven't finished.
Doesn't sound like writing to me.
Okay, ready?
No.
Thank you for your commentary, Do Yang. 3, 2, 1. This was not planned, I swear, I promise. I think we all know why.
Since it's like it's not going right, I need to come back.
There's just so much. It's such an amazing place, and I enjoy. I don't know. I feel like I've always had like I've been kind of like had an outsider role a little bit. As like when I was on UM. It was but no. I was like I came in. I was kind of always in like a guiding. You know, like after live, it was like it was very much like I don't know. I was always trying as much as possible, like be like guiding figure more than like directly doing one, and like really just like. I don't know. I think that's just it's something that would really appeal to me. It's kind of been like my role, and I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy working with all these amazing people and things. So.
Well, on a sentimental note, any advice for us? Oh, that's kind of true though.
Wait, what?
Gandalf. Like the
Oh,
yeah.
I have one more fun question. If you guys wanna, who can list like the most inside jokes that they remember?
You can list them.
There
out.
are so many.
Starting like
Okay.
now. Go.
Oh my goodness.
Last question.
I just can't write fast.
She's 23.
Holy moly, Gigi, that is such a long list.
You said inside jokes.
Alright, I'm giving you guys 10 more seconds.
Hold on.
I can't.
Alright.
No.
5,
No.
4, 3,
So just have my name.
2,
It's my name
1.
is-
Okay,
It doesn't have
show
to
it.
be raised.
Gigi. Gigi.
Half of yours are
Oh.
snacks.
That's a long list.
Alright.
You do.
Does anybody want it?
What?
I'm just.
The first thing I got too.
Hey.
It's just like Sam.
It's a
Let's
joke.
do that.
We've already talked
No,
about
Jeff
bathtub
too.
rig.
Oh,
What
Timothy
is- oh,
Jeff
Jeff
too.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, you also had. Other block. Yeah. Oh, we both had Ghost of Paul Revere.
Ghost of Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Huh?
Tinge.
Oh my lord, that's when people would hear music outside of Paul Revere.
I
It
can
was
tell the
Tess
Paul
Summer.
Revere is
Okay,
haunted.
fine.
So
Quick,
along,
we have to make this quick.
Can you dim the lights? This is a ghost story.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We can unplug, we can unplug.
No. So, a long time ago. Joking. Sorry. This is why I would be a horrible anchor. Thank you, Samson. The PGs and Paul swore that it was haunted by the ghost of Paul Revere. They're like, we don't know what's going on, but every night we hear this like melodic, like kind of creepy whistling outside, but we can't tell where it comes from. And then one day, we see this figure just like walking in the moonlight in a long white dress, and they totally freaked out. And they thought the Illuminati were involved because slowly a packed car rolls up, the door opens, the door closes, the ghost disappears, and they're like, holy shoot, what's going on? Sorry, holy shoot.
Nice save.
This is
You're
live
good.
TV, this is not late night. And so everyone was so scared. And then it happened that was Spirit Week, and it was a Decades Day, and Miss Tessa here was dressed up in a long chiton, which is the feminized form of a toga in Greek culture, in case you were wondering. So she was wearing a long white chiton, and will you give an example of your whistling? If you heard this at midnight in the moonlight, would you be scared? I would. And so the PGs were freaking out. They were like, what is this place? And it was just Tessa the whole time.
Yep.
Debunked.
Wait, can I ask an extra question?
Okay.
Who can draw the Phillipian P the best?
From memory?
This
Yes,
is
from
becoming
memory.
like a game show.
Yeah.
Love this happening
Yeah.
every
Hold on, but it's
Alright. I'm putting a timer for what, 30 seconds, should we say?
Hold on, like,
Oh wait.
I think Tessa just asked this question so she could prove how
No.
good she's a drawing.
Yeah,
I
this is too
forget.
difficult.
Wait,
This is so
this is
difficult.
really hard. There's so many weird little details on it, actually.
Is there a reference photo that you can compare our results to?
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like
I lost my laptop sticker.
Shira, is there a chance
I don't
to pull up
remember
a
what the
Philippian
front
P?
of it looks like.
Ah.
Wait,
No, I
on the show.
Yes.
So,
Ah, God, I can't.
This
focus.
is so hard.
all the mics are still on, guys.
it's okay.
Gigi, are you cheating?
She's putting it up on the monitor.
No, this whole
Yeah,
part is
yeah,
just
it's
draw
good.
from memory. No, don't pull it up. Don't pull it up. Look at the monitor. Don't look. Gigi, you're cheating. I see
I'm
this.
nearsighted. I can't even read it.
I don't remember what
Let me
the
see if
front
I
of
can-
it looks
ooh.
like.
Wait.
Oh.
Alright, rude. Okay.
Alright, it's almost been a minute. Are we ready?
No.
I just found a people stall.
It's not loading. Oh,
Nice
it is.
talk.
It is okay. That's okay.
Yeah, mine does not. Mine does not.
So sad.
Sad. I
Here's
like.
the P for reference. Ready?
No.
No, you guys won't be able to see it. Just don't look.
Well, they don't even see it.
Gigi, you're all-
Shira, put it up already. Shira.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, no, this is the
I
best
can't
I'm
see it.
doing. I can't.
Inception,
Oh, are you doing like the old version?
Alright, ready?
Oh, Tessa's definitely wins.
She
My
is
lord.
definitely
Alright.
winning.
Tessa-
It's been a
Tessa
minute,
straight
30
up
seconds,
just
Tessa. Turn
destroyed
it
us.
around. Ready?
Oh,
3,
no, this isn't that.
3,
This is definitely way off.
3, 2, 1.
This is the old version.
Well, it's probably
No,
winning
this
if
is
you're
pretty
doing the old
nice.
P.
It's a cool style. It's not the
It
Philippian.
looks like
It's
it's like
not
the
the
old like
Philippian,
the.
yeah.
There have been so many actually. We've had a few different.
Yeah.
I just remember these like flary.
Yours looks like a
things.
chicken.
That is
Oh.
Tessa just wanted to prove yes, in fact she
I
was
told
an
you. I
illustration
told you.
editor.
I called it. I called it. All right. Well, any last notes? Any pieces of
Surprise questions for us?
advice? Surprise. Well, you guys can ask each other questions.
Every single person behind the camera just is doing this right now.
All right.
Party
It's
advice. Take care
7.
of the paper. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves.
We're proud of you.
We love
We
you.
love you guys.
And
You're
I'm always
amazing.
on call. I have no life. I'll write sports articles if you need.
Same here.
Okay then. Well, with that, we'd like to say thank you and we love you so much. Like so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for playing games with us tonight.